Welcome to Jurassic World at the tail end of 2006, moving into 2007, I guess. We're going to hatch some more Pteranodons. That'll be the last thing we do for 2006, quotation marks. Because we only have the 3 in our rebuilt aviary here, since the big aviary did not function. Ranger Team 3 cannot find a route. Why would that be? Where are you trying to go, Ranger Team 3? We have fossils, including some stuff to sell. A little bit of compy, which we started digging up. Nobody currently available to process that. We might just let that sit for a little bit. Okay, I don't see like a Ranger Team warning at the top of the screen, so I think that was a temporary quirk. So yeah, the Aviaries are not as cool as it looked last time, but it is functional. It will work. At least the trees work. Seeing a Pteranodon roosting in a tree is pretty sick, so I really like this tree mod. Very cool. I think this aviary is still pretty nice overall. I like you know, the big lake with kind of the raised terrain around it. The trees really help. I can dig it. Oh, did we not get the upgrades done for this? We did, but I never put them in. Goddamn. Okay. Shit. We don't need the extra bays. It's literally not worth 100k. I guess we'll hatch the one we got. Social Humble Svalbard Rana. Okay, we can do this. And then I'll take one more clutch. And then we'll put her on a break afterwards. That's fine. And then our last person just probably hangs out. Maybe we have a low-end logistics thing. The reason I don't want to say that any of the flyers come from Sorna is because we never see any of the Sorna pteranodons on Nublar and vice versa in the films. The Jurassic World ones are all depicted with the short crest, and we never see those ones on Sorna. So we're going with them being like Masrani era fresh clones, and not anything from Sorna. I think going forward, we're probably not going to be bringing many animals from Sorna conceptually, because, like, you really don't see any of the Isla Sorna skins in Jurassic World ever. They don't really show up in Camp Cretaceous. They don't really show up in the films. Let's do basic attractions with this guy. So I think, you know, there definitely were animals from Sorna, right? We know that's canon. I'm good, Primal Gamer. How are you? We know canonically there were animals from Sorna, but we don't know how many, and we don't know which ones. We know canonically, if you take Evolution of Claire to be true, that the Ankies, the first 6 Ankylosaurs, come from Sorna. So we're going to just go with those being female. We know they're female as well. So we're going to go with those being the female version of the red-faced JP3 Ankies. We know they're... But beyond that, like, I don't know. Who knows what. I'm going to guess the Micros would have came from Sorna, because these were cloned in 1986. You can probably assume there were a bunch running around. It kind of makes sense that these were in the park early and came from Sorna. They'd be easy to transport. Same with, like, the Compies. Pachycephalosaurus from Sorna makes sense. Like, canonically, in our little headcanon here, these are Sorna Pachycephalosaurs. Kind of 2006 was like when a lot of stuff was pulled in from Sorna in our headcanon here. I've heard some good things about Marvel Rivals, but it's not really my kind of game. Not really interested in Marvel, not really interested in the game. So. Oh, also I updated a mod. We have this film canon mod, which provides like the galleys, the brachys, the parasaurs from like the classic era. A commenter let me know that this mod had been updated at some point. I was using an old version. So we have the new version. No substantial changes to the animals we have now. I think the biggest change was like the Velociraptors look different. They're more accurate to the films. So if we were going to use film raptors, we would see that. But since this is a Jurassic World era build, we won't actually encounter those. So, yeah. I think this person here needed to go on a break. Yes. So did you. Yeah, it has always bothered me that we never really get more Pachycephalosaurus in the film franchise. Lost World, and then the cameo in Jurassic World, and that's it. It's pretty disappointing. I think it's a really great color palette for this animal. It's like one of my favorite classic franchise designs. Not like top tier, but like up there, you know? Upper half, whatever. I think at this point we can pretty much say that it's been removed from, not literally decanonized, but like we won't see it again. It's being deliberately ignored. At least for now. Like, I think it's entirely plausible in the future that it could come back, that they could reverse course. But I think at this point, like, there's no reason to introduce Stiggy Moloch. Like, there was a deliberate choice to introduce a replacement for Pachycephalosaurus for whatever reason. All right, we get these 3 more. Oh, I was going to change the skin on these. I forgot. That's fine. We'll do some different skins in different eras. We'll release like 3 waves of Pteranodon. Because we do know there is a second wave later anyway. That's confirmed, so... Yeah, the roundup scene made them pretty iconic, I think. Okay, so maybe we need the Mosa, we need Stegs. It would be nice to finish Compy, but I'm not going to make that very important. I guess with the Stegos, we probably want to get the... Well, the Stegos were on the gyrosphere, too. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do with Stego. Because it's going to be a little weird finding a good spot for it, I think. Then we probably want to consider amenities over here. So maybe we start putting in some small ones. So let's just start with the food and see if it is worthwhile. Okay, you want a lot of green. You and me both, Jurassic World. Okay, so... I mean, it's profitable. It should stay profitable. Yeah. Okay. It's probably the best I can do, but that's okay. Let's look at the overview here in terms of food demand. Okay, so there's still like food demand here, so maybe I can actually swing a medium. So let's put a medium in for drinks, I guess, and see what that looks like. Yeah, so 308, that's actually pretty worthwhile. Okay, well, anyway, I don't know why I'm paused, because this is literally a good filler for while I'm letting stuff catch up, and then I'm just paused and it's not doing that.
Attention all personnel. Our weather reports have identified an approaching storm. Please await further instruction.
Pausing now because the storm is coming in. So I guess we got to put this here kind of weirdly around the bend, but that's fine. It's like a little like alcove kind of. All right, so the first storm with the aviary. Okay, honestly, I'm thinking we should give this aviary a dedicated ranger station. I think so. Let's do it. Because I don't want to deal with this place getting the power cut. Well, not the power cut, getting the place damaged. The aviary dome. Like, if they break, we want to try and contain the pteranodons, especially long term, where we'll have like 40 animals in there once you add in like the dimorphodons. So I think it's kind of important that it doesn't completely go to crap. Okay, what am I gonna... How do I want to do this? Maybe we just do something like this. Yeah, I'm aware of the list of what animals were on Sorna. We're just... I think it's entirely plausible that some of those animals were left behind for being too dangerous to actually round up and transfer. Easier to clone new ones than it is to bring over, like, adult carnivores, right? Well, we'll see if this guy can handle this. Try showing your baby sister JP. Well, didn't look at the screen till the dialo scene. That's a good starting spot, I guess. Okay, so he can repair the interior cell. At one point in time, this was bugged, and these would not repair. But maybe that was fixed at some point. Did any pteranodons escape this time? It seems like we're good. Okay. Other residual damage. We lost this guy over here. Piece of cake. Oh, I need to move this bathroom. Actually, it looked like I needed to move another bathroom somewhere. Oh, because this one broke. Never mind. Yes. That's all good. Okay, shelter open. Fossils. So let's focus on the stego. So do we think... Here's the conundrum, right? Do I build the cruise now? Or do I build the truck tour now? Because either way, I can split animals up. I think the truck tour probably should be built next. I think we'll do that. When do we get a Paddosaurus? Because that could be a good era for bringing in the boat tour. The Paddo's 2010. Okay. Maybe. Maybe. Let's continue. Actually, let's switch over to Mosasaurus. Let's do Mosa first. I'm going to change my mind. This guy needs a point of logistics for us to do Mosa. At least from this dig site. So these guys get Mosa. Here's our last batch of pteranodons. Which I can't do this because I had to repair this to assign this guy to the thing. Okay, assign to the thing. Release them. Yeah, I mean, ideally, the Main Street incident never occurs, so here's hoping. Okay, so 7 in the flock for 2006. That's a good number to me, I think. That number sounds good to me, I think, I guess is a better way to say that, maybe. These are full. Probably not so full that we need more, I'm going to say. Okay, so yes. Anything else we need for the truck tour? Truck tour will probably have its own dedicated, like, deployment spot like the gyrosphere tour has here. But maybe the truck tour honestly just starts, like, here. Coming off of Main Street maybe could work. Because we never see where the galley, like, we see the galley scene with the truck. We never see where, like, the starting point is, right? We see the kind of the gyrosphere station out in the middle of nowhere. We don't see that truck depot or anything ever. So, yeah, I think, let's take a look at the research tree, and then I'm going to pause and build some stuff. So, yeah, none of the carnivores here for this year. We already have Mosa, we already have Stag. Upcoming, we have Pachyrhinosaurus. But that's not super soon. Apado for the river. We don't use Coretho. Arana later. Okay, yeah, so we don't really need to do any like big research here. And do we have the truck? I think we did, right? Yeah, we got the truck. Could do something like that. We could do zip lines. That's kind of a freebie. I'm gonna wait, I think. Okay, I'm gonna decide where the truck tour goes, how big it is, and everything. So one thing I've decided we're doing, we're not gonna approximate the monorail track by putting in like empty monorails. I'm gonna have it be one functional monorail, which means the monorail is gonna be an approximation. The monorail interconnects and branches all over the park, and we just can't do that in game and have it still be functional. What I've decided to do here is we put in a new station, and we put in the truck tour here for Gallimimus Valley, which will obviously have Gallimimus in it. Canonically, that's where the Indominusauruses were, as far as we know. There's some sort of piece of information that says they were there. Maybe it's the cookbook. Who knows? But it's the only clue we have for any other animal that's definitively in here. The cookbook, I believe, also says Pachyrhinosaurus is in here, so we'll put it in there eventually. We'll put some copies in to clean up after the animals. But the big thing is it's a large pen with a tour, and we only have 5 Monosauruses, so we should probably get some more of those going. So let's clone some new batches. I would hope the glass in the aviary is reinforced enough that the pteranodons can't accidentally break it. Because it took a helicopter in the film to enable the breakout. I don't know why I went to the gene selection there. I guess we let this first batch get done and then we do a second one. And fossils actually came in, so we can process those instead, which is a much better use of our time. Bunch of... Why do we get snake fossils from what is clearly an aquatic dig site? I guess it could be a beach. It could be sea snakes. It's fine. I answered my own question. Asked and answered by myself. Perfect. Okay. Send you back to the Mosa dig on these two. And then yeah, we got a crew to hatch the Unmanos when they're ready. And yeah, I mean, the options for the truck tour were to connect it kind of up towards the back end of the water park or to connect it to the monorail directly over here. And I like it better being connected this way, I think. We don't ever see the depot for the trucks. We just see the truck tour, like, as an example. So that's why I did it that way. Also stuck some dead trees in here and the Gallimimus log in here. Because this is supposed to be the same area they were in the original park as well. The Gallimimus, that is. So I think it makes sense to have that callback there, essentially. That is a... What's wrong with you? Bracken poisoning from unmet needs, comfort at 89%. How have you done this, though? Are you stupid? Very. You're missing this entire corner. That's very dumb. Well, anyway. It'll sort itself out eventually. But yeah. Removing the galleys also means we might have some relaxations here on food demand. But I don't think I'm going to change that until we bring in, like, the Apatos or something. Also, looks like I did manage to grab all the galleys. I'm actually shocked because I didn't do, like, this overhead pause pan and scan. To date, not move all, but, like, yeah. Oh, wait. Are those both grabbed already? I think those are both grabbed already. E. coli in park. Okay. Also that. Yes. Ranger team, please. Sorry, did this... Oh, I put in a retro one on accident. Oh, well, that's unacceptable. That's gotta... Okay. We'll replace this after we deal with the crises. So, yes, we gotta clean the feeder first. There's probably a good argument to put another medical team over here. I think we only got the one medical team in the park anyway, and it's like all the way down here on Main Street. So, or past Main Street. It's all the way over here. So I think we'll do that. Okay, turns out we never upgraded paths, so I've taken care of that off screen. Upgraded the remaining paths throughout the park that were missing. Mosasaur fossils get us a little ways along to where we need to be. Still got galleys being airlifted. Medical is built now, so let's get medical going here on the Pteranodon outbreak that I have been taking far too long to respond to. Multiple Ankies now are pissed up here about not having leaf, but that's their own problem, and I don't need to worry about it. I mean, theoretically, they should be fine. They should find it. Okay, another 5 Admonos. Mosasaurus probably should have a low population because it's kind of always been implied to be not a very, like, common animal. The DPG list says there were only, like, 4 on Sorna, if you believe the DPG lore. So I think it kind of makes sense to stop at, like, maybe 10, which is what we got coming right now. I want a new batch of compies for the for the truck tour. So these should be ready to go. Just going to check that the skins didn't reset with the updated skin mod, but it looks like we're good. So combination of film skins and Camp Cretaceous skins and just get a big batch of copies. Boom. And then, yeah, I sent my logistics guy on that, so I guess we can't do an expedition right away. They'll need a break afterwards. Let's see if we got something cheap we can do. Hadrosaurus we're not actually going to put in. The argument for Hadrosaurus is the cookbook includes it as a species that's on the Cretaceous cruise, but I don't necessarily buy that. We'll dig up Compy. Perfect. Oh, yeah, wait. We don't have full genome on Compy. Whoops. Okay, well, we'll get some low value copies, whatever.
Park is really coming together.
That's fine.
But we can always do more. It would be terrific if you could get
Okay,
our park
we definitely need
ready.
amenities over here. These ones are still, like, very full. Put one back here. Did we do... We don't have large yet. I guess maybe we should look at getting large. We should all get large. So a lot of orange demand? Is that specifically like because of the truck tour? I'm not sure. Okay, so that is not that full currently. But that does cover like down here towards the water park. So I mean that's still pretty okay. We also obviously should get a shelter in here somewhere, probably here at the end. Maybe down here because there's like enough shelter demand that this is probably better on splitting the difference. Yeah. Bathroom. Maybe somewhere here along the hillside. Or here, because there's kind of, that hill's kind of creeping in there, so it's not really a good spot for anything else. Let's just put it here, like in the little elbow. Obstructed by the main thoroughfare. Well, you're rude, aren't you? Okay, somebody's dying. We should probably investigate. Seems important, you know? Pteranodon? Pteranodon. Should be fine, because the medical team is here. In theory, we don't have to worry about this. Very much in theory. Okay. Okay, great. Oh, and the Ankies also cured themselves, as I said they would. Lovely. Great. I wasn't wrong. I don't have to be shamed by my Ankies. I think it's probably better to do gift stand skeleton display here, right? Because then it doesn't really matter what we put up here. Yeah. Well, we did... Well, no, because we did small in the other ones. We didn't do 3 big, or 2 big. We did 1 big, 1 small. So maybe this is not better. But that works. And then we can just do... Okay. No, just keep the hats. That's fine. Okay, that works. That's just perfectly fine. No power on the T-shirts means the power grid is exhausted. We need to look at what we're doing over here. We also need to look at what everybody else is up to. So you need a break. You need a break. Should be able to hatch compies with that. Should be fine. 60, 180. Increased output. Additional upgrade slot. I wonder if that additional upgrade slot, how deep that is actually. That's in the power tree, right? I think so. Is it? Oh yeah, +1 upgrade slot. Yeah. Wait, can you even double upgrades? Because there's like no other... Huh. I mean, there's storm defense. I guess you have the upgrade slot for the storm defense. Either that or output special and you can double up on it. No, you can double up upgrades. Can you always double up upgrades? Yeah. Yeah, even advanced equipment, one that doesn't stack, you can still double up on. Never mind. Okay. Sorry, I was being stupid. I was having a moment. Senior moment. My brain is going, you know? It's fine. Do we want all 10 of these? Why not? Sure. You get those. The other person can do a batch of fossils right now, actually. And then the Edmontos to the truck tour. There we go. So this gives us a herd of 11 galleys. That feels like too few galleys. I'm going to say it. We need more galleys. Synthesizing a batch of galleys is currently 5 genetics with what we got set up. I'm not going to adjust it, I don't think. We had those set specifically to babies too, I think, which we should change. Yeah, whatever. Alright. Alright, I put in a few more shops snuck in like the back of the arena, another one over here by the water park. Patch up our scores a little bit that way. Still a little low. I still gotta maybe think about trying to stabilize some of the configurations on these, but we're not gonna worry about it, especially not with the Mosasaur coming, which will like be a big swing on the park demand structure. For now, let's process some compy and then get back into the field for more Mosa. Anyway, thanks for swinging by the stream, John Newman. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a fun park so far. I wish the big aviary would have worked. That would have been really cool. Oh, Mosa over here in Europe. Perfect. So this is, I guess... Oh, no, this is 13, sorry. I saw the 15, which was the current available genetics, or logistics, rather, and thought it was 15 required, but it was not. So that is good. All right, copies to the truck tour. Clean up after our Montos. Thinking about where I would want to put these. I guess we'll just scatter them here in the middle. And then we'll give them a feeder. Here? Where's the... So this is here, so I should be able to put a feeder here and it should be fine. And then it's kind of tucked away from the truck, which conceptually maybe works. We're going to drop the radius. Let's drop the intensity. Actually, not the radius. And then just kind of scatter some sand around the watering holes, I think. And hopefully we don't have an issue with this few compies splitting up too much. Hopefully with the feeder, the one feeder, they kind of stay close. The tours might mess that up though. Yeah, good progress for it only being technically 2007 or whatever, but... It seems reasonable to me that most of the attractions were probably in by 2010. And then 2010 and 2015 was kind of building off of what was already there. You wish you could learn to play the game. You just gotta, like, figure it out. I know that's not very helpful. You just kind of gotta do stuff. I don't know. A lot of it's not explained. You can learn it through trial and error. You can learn it through, like, tutorials if you watch some stuff. But, all right, perfect time for us to breed more galleys. We're going to take, like, a whole batch here because I feel like there should be, you know, like 30 galleys on the truck tour, honestly.
More ways for things to go wrong. Like, who could predict that?
Okay, it looks like our extended herd of Mosasaurus are still happy, which is great. We're digging up Mosasaurus literally right this moment. 2007 is when the Mos is born. So we're properly into... This is the 2007 episode. Okay, I don't know how Akambi's already all the way over here, but I don't like it. Oh, but these guys did merge territory, so that's okay. With the other ones coming in here for a landing, this actually should be okay. They'll start with a nice big territory. Yeah, that's the other problem with this game is, like, there are things that have changed and things that have broken and things that have been fixed over time, so there you can run into some issues with information just not really being accurate. It's also, like, this game also has, like, mechanics that don't matter, which is kind of crap. Like, there's a bunch of things in the research tree that don't matter and are worthless. There's, like, weird subtleties to how the amenity system works that, like, don't matter and are kind of worthless. The idea of, like, tailoring different, like, guest types is really pointless outside of, like, the 2 challenge modes that it matters in. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of like complexity for complexity's sake in this game that can just be ignored, right? Like, I kind of wish it couldn't be ignored, that like it mattered, but it doesn't. But it's still there, which is weird. Can dinosaurs escape? Yes. Dinosaurs can and will escape, especially if you're not taking care of them well, which sometimes is not your fault. Sometimes that's the game's fault. And you can also have incidences that cause breakouts. And then they will escape, and you'll have to wrangle them up and bring them back. Get them back in their pens. Do I want to put this person on an expedition? Maybe not. Let's look for something for just Ibrahim to do, maybe. Oh, we need Brockie this year, because there's another Brockie cloned in 2007. So, yeah, I think we'll... I frankly don't know where to put the Brockie. I'll have to think about that. There are storms and disasters that strike. They strike like clockwork, which can be a little weird. Once you've played the game for a while, you'll get used to the timing. And it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. But
Transportation underway.
yeah, the building upgrade, there's like no logic put into the research tree ordering on the building upgrades in particular. A lot of the best ones are the early ones, and a lot of the late ones are just not worth the effort.
Assets in the air.
Hey Connor, welcome to the YouTube chat now instead of the Twitch chat. I see you've made the jump. I don't know for me which would be better, but it doesn't really matter that much. Oh my gosh, copies. You're lonely and you need more sand. Okay, well,
Asset transportation complete.
we'll scatter a little bit just kind of around in general, I guess. That way it's not too, like, it doesn't look too sandy, maybe. They need so much sand. It's kind of obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie, like, where does copies and sand come from? That doesn't make any sense. I guess because we see them on a beach in the Lost World? Is that the logic? That's bad logic. If that's literally why they made it have such a big sand need, because we see them on a beach once. That's very silly. That actually might be it. I mentally associate copies more with just, like, generically being everywhere. I mean, even in the Lost World, you see them a bunch, you know, properly in the forest and not on the beach. All right, let's get these galleys out for this contract. We have 2 minutes for the bonus. It should work. Probably, maybe.
Heading to collect the asset. Collecting asset. Confirmed. Adding to the list.
All right, compies are still not actually that happy. So what if I do, like, what if I just go hard on a sand pit over here? Okay. What if I just do this? Because I can't be bothered. And then to make it not look dumb and weird, we do this. We put some trees around it. So it's kind of its own little, like, hidden thing. Like a little sandy oasis hidden here in the tree line. How about that? I think I'm okay with this. We'll probably need some trees in here at some point. You can still glimpse, like, the water through the tree line as you're, like, driving past in the truck. I think that's fine. I don't find that disruptive to the valley vibe here. I think it's okay.
Asset transported.
I feel like we're not going to get the bonus on this contract, which is unfortunate. Compies live in a semi-arid environment IRL, I guess, but, like, kind of most dinosaur fossils live in either a semi-arid environment or, like, a floodplain. So I don't really like using that as a basis. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things about the book that don't really translate to the films. That's true. A lot of, like, the philosophical arguments are a little bit different between the two, right? The book's got a lot of, like, it really emphasizes, like, the inherent flaws of the cloning process. Now the animals really are just doomed, and, like, people can't really properly manipulate them. We have nothing in the lagoon yet. We're working on it. It's in progress. The most is coming this year / this episode. In fact, we can go dig up another batch right now. Oh yeah, Europe had it. 7 and 6. Right, the horror elements, unfortunately, those are firmly gone. Rebirth is probably the best bet we'll have for getting any real horror elements back, but I think with the popularity of Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory, the horror angle is going to remain subdued at best, honestly. My opinions on the not very dire wolves. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much covered it, right? They're not dire wolves. They're expressing genes that are based on genes expressed by dire wolves, but they are gray wolves. They could interbreed with other gray wolves, so they are not a separate species, which means they're still gray wolf. The end. It's very interesting what they're doing. Like, it's very impressive, the work they've done, but at the end of the day, they have not revived a dire wolf. Not at all. Plus, a lot of, like, the discussion they have about, like, ecological niches is kind of invalid in the discussion of a dire wolf. Because, like, the shit they ate, their environmental niche is gone. Long gone. It's not like bringing back a dodo or bringing back a mammoth even, where, like, kind of their environment still exists. Like, bringing back a macro predator into an environment where the prey is gone is not really a thing you can do. Bringing back an herbivore is more viable. Okay, these compies are good. How are the galleys doing? We got a storm rolling in, so we need to get some stuff cleaned up here. Dire wolves are a large canid from the Pleistocene. So they're an extinct animal related to wolves and jackals, but they are not a wolf and they are not a jackal. That's at least what I know about them. No, Chaos Theory is solid. Season 1's really good. But it's still targeting a younger audience, right? So they're not going to put, like, really edgy horror into the Jurassic franchise when half of the media they produce for it is targeting, you know, preteens, right? That's all I'm saying. Okay, so those are coming in. Is there anything else we want to do before the storm rolls in? The galleys kind of complete the 2007 era truck tour for us. We can put the stegos now theoretically into the gyrosphere area without problem because of the collab mod, right? Is this true? Dislike Stegosaurid, but like Stegosaurus, yes. So specifically, the mixed territory mod here enables us to have a realistic gyrosphere, which otherwise we couldn't do. I imagine putting the stegos in there was going to, like, torpedo happiness, though, because of the mixed food types. But it's kind of a thing we got to deal with. All right, get the shelters open.
And I love them even more now. That's why it's great to have someone like you around who can deal with these objectives while I work with the dinosaurs. That makes you all kinds of awesome. Not my awesome, but awesome in your own special way.
Okay, a few things are broken. Yeah, I mean, season 1 of Chaos Theory, I think, is, like, easily the best season of both shows, right? Like, it beats every season of Camp Cretaceous, I think. Pretty firmly. Oh, yeah, everything's gone wrong over here. Okay, another short duration storm though, so not that bad. Okay, that's all repaired. No pteranodons escaped from the aviary, so that's great. I think the people saying the Pyroraptor was redeemed by Chaos Theory are overstating it. I think the Pyroraptor was perfectly fine in Chaos Theory, but I don't think it was salvaged in the way the Atrociraptors were by the show. I think it's just okay. I think the Atrociraptors are the standout thing in the show, and that is still true as of season 3. The Pyroraptor does not compete with that. Chaos Theory got the new season. Camp Cretaceous is done, it has been done. Chaos Theory is just the direct sequel, so I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, it's kind of the same show. Pyro had a look. This is going to be in the videos coming out this week on chaos theory, but like some of the stuff that people will think is cool with the pyro, I don't like. It really bugs me from a behavioral standpoint. Or like a literally physics standpoint. And that really like undermines my interest in the Pyroraptor, right? If I can't believe the scenes it's in, then I'm not gonna get any enjoyment out of what the animal is doing. That's just a simple fact for me. Like, part of why I like this franchise is the original film, which does a really good job of presenting the animals as animals, and it keeps that like science in there, right? At the end of the day, the way they clone the dinosaurs, you can't do it in real life. It doesn't actually work, but it presents it in a way where it feels real. It feels scientific, and we don't get as much of that in the modern media. Like, both Chaos Theory and the Jurassic World trilogy and Camp Cretaceous are not as highbrow as the original trilogy, and I'm even going to include JP3 in that. I guess maybe don't quote me on that actually. Not as highbrow as the first two, I guess we'll say, in terms of like concepts, right? They're just different kinds of movies. Listro did have some pretty cool stuff, I guess. Yeah, Lystrosaurus being essentially a snapping turtle is kind of neat. It justifies it a little more, like why they even had Lystro fighting things in the show, in the movie, because like in the movie there's just a Lystrosaurus and it randomly like cuts a fucking Oviraptor's head off, and you're like, what? I guess that's not even in the actual theatrical, right? That's in the extended. But seeing that it's just kind of what it does makes it better. Oh, fossils.
Just wow.
Pyroraptor is well, it's an animal in Jurassic World Dominion and Chaos Theory that probably does not represent the real animal in any way. Because if I'm not mistaken, there's very good odds that it's an Unenlagine, which is like a dromaeosaurid that is probably eats fish, right? So if it's an Unenlagine animal, it looks nothing like it looks like in the movie. They just picked it because it has a cool name, which drives me insane. Alright, more Mosa. Alright, some stegofossils. This gets us a complete stego genome. Hooray! Sell these cynodonts. We need to put you on a break. We need to put you on a break. So I think the head geneticist Flores will do this for us for now. Now, unfortunately, that means that Wait, did we finish the Mosa? Because I thought I was digging up Mosa because I got distracted. Oh yeah, no, the Mosa's good to go. Okay. So Yukon blank probably is the most film canon-y Mosa version, but it's really hard to tell actually, because listen, if there's any animal that's inconsistent scene to scene and how it's depicted, it's the Mosa. That thing has size-changing superpowers. It's literally never the same size twice. Like, who actually knows what the fuck this thing looks like? That's 16 genetics, even with just the humble, huh? That's a little rough. Alright, we'll make it work. It's fine. We have the money. Alright, scientist training first so we can get a Mosa. We have to just do that. I could keep this guy back, and then we could do you instead. And then we could go dig up some fossils of something or other while this happens, at least. Brachiosaurus, perfect. These are both 8s. Well, let's just do it. We'll have, this person can still contribute to the Mosa sequencing. That's not a problem. Alright, here's our brachiofossils. Let's get these just cleaned out. We're going to let all this stuff sit here because it's Mosa time, baby. Alright, so the Mosa, 14 genetics for just a base Mosa. No, not quite base. We removed the humble penalty, but we're going to do 0% humble because it shouldn't matter, actually. So to get that, we need to put some points in. So we did the research here for more points to spend. 1 point on you gets you to an 8. 2 points on you is not a thing we can do. Yes. This. I didn't factor that into my calculations. Well, it's still fine. This is 13. Good enough. It works. I was kind of hoping to put 2 more points into him and do this on 2, but it's just not an option. So I think we just put the welfare specialist in this because he's not doing anything anyway until it's synthed. And then we can go do another expedition for some Baryonyx, which is the last animal we need for the current year in the park build. So we just need to get at least 1 Brachy hatched, because we only know of a single Brachy that was born in 2007 in Jurassic World, for sure. We need to get the Mosa, because we know that was born in 2007, for sure. And then some amount of Stegos, which I think it might also be a single Stego confirmed in 2007. I think so. I think it's... So to be clear, these dates come from like the Fallen Kingdom Adopt a Dinosaur marketing material, which gives you birth dates for certain dinosaurs. All right, I pumped a couple of points of welfare into Shamoon here. So that gets us enough to do it like this, and then these 2 can go on break. I think that's fine. Yeah, we'll do that. Great. And then we'll get the Stegos and the Brachy as soon as we can. All right, let's process some fossils real quick. Get the rest of this stuff done. So there's the final bit of Stego and some Brachy. Most eggs are coming along nicely, so this should all be finished up kind of at the same time, and then we can get a big push on those Stegos. The Brachiosaurs should be on the gyrosphere if we go by the evolution of Claire. But I put them all here in the Land of the Giants to go with the Jurassic World, the exhibition lore, and not the evolution of Claire statement. But I think the argument from evolution of Claire that they were in the Gyrosphere Valley is kind of dodgy. It just says that they like to play with the gyrospheres. So maybe they were there at one point and then moved down here. I don't know. This is not going to be a perfect recreation just because you can't do it. It's too complicated to do a perfect recreation. So what I think I'll do, I'll consider putting the Brachys in the gyrosphere, but I'm not going to do it right now. All right, there's our Mosasaur.
So when people come to the park, they want to learn something, sure, but they also want to be entertained.
I don't think we have anything that says canonically Ichthyosaurus was in the park. I think Plesiosaurus is like borderline canon because it was literally cut from Dominion. Like the Plesiosaurus we have in this game was very likely designed for Dominion, which is why it looks so weird. It's almost certainly actually the film design they put in the game because it leaked. It leaked as a Dominion design way before it actually came out in JWE2. And it leaked as a snake-headed plesiosaur. So I've been pretty convinced of that's true. You need 2 shark feeders for 1 Mosa? Well, that's annoying. Okay, I guess I'll have to try and put another shark in here, which I don't have access to. Why is that? But yeah, Ichthy, I don't think there's any particular evidence for. Pleasy was also on the holoscape, which is why I put Plesiosaurus actually in the research tree, just as the nod to that. That's literally the only reason I included it, is because it probably actually was in the park. But I feel like Ichthyosaurus probably should have been in the park, but I just don't think there's actually any canonical evidence of that. But I think it would be a perfect include. So why do I not have the fish feeder? Wait, am I stupid? Oh, because it's bundled into this, so we never actually researched this. Okay, fair enough. True. Yes, I understand now. I understand what has happened. Okay, well, let's knock that out real quick. The Mosa will be fine, because it's not like he can escape anyway, right? Oh, I think he is. Yeah, I think he is hungry. He's got the hungry genes. He's got the hunger. That boy's hungry as hell. All right, Stegos. Yeah, I imagine playing with the gyrospheres involves literally smashing them to bits. That's what I would assume too. Do we want these to be 10 only, maybe? Let's think about it. I mean, we got 13. I think I'm okay with... I mean, there's a lot of skin combos here for Stego, too, because it's got like a billion variations in Camp Cretaceous. It's actually kind of ridiculous. And I picked out a bunch of additional skin combos that just look like various like green to brown to red Stegos to kind of capture all those variations from Camp Cretaceous that we don't have a mod for. So we're probably going to breed enough of these that I think I'm going to just leave it here, actually. They do have intolerant. 50% intolerant. I might need to take care of that. Because it's going to mess with dominance. And they're going to be in a crowded exhibit. So let's just knock this out, too. Yeah. And then, do I need Brocky still, or is Brocky done? Okay, Brocky is done. So, like, things are done. We're just waiting on, you know, breeding the animals, which is, it's in progress, right? We could get Raptor. We could get Dimorphodon. I think I'm going to literally have those be the same year, so I guess we'll grab some Dimorphodon real quick. Sure. Alright, just confirming here the Brocky is complete with the set of fossils we currently have. I'm going to task the main geneticist on it to get it done real quick while we breed some more Gallimimus for this growing population contract real quick. Look at this Dimorphodon haul. Look at this. We found literally every fungi fossil that has ever existed, buried treasure, and rhodium. Crazy. Just the sheer volume of shit hauled back in a single expedition is crazy there. We're not going to process this, but it is a full perfect load too. 98% genome data only though. RIP. Beachleuropleurodon. Okay.
Commencing asset transit.
Alright, galleys are being flown over. Let's get those Stegos. So, first wave of Stegos, clearing out the intolerant. Boom, boom. Unfit, social humble, perfect. So these go to the gyrosphere, which might require a substantial redesign of the gyrosphere, which I might do between episodes, because this episode is getting a little long again, and should finish it up. I think we're going to just breed one more random one here. I think we had one of each, so yeah, we'll just dice roll which one this comes out to be. I could literally reset the genome too, because we already have an alpha. So we do this. This still gets saved. Now it's only 8, which is better. Okay. I think I'm going to literally just take the 1 because I don't want to risk having to redesign this. I'm pretty confident we can safely fit one more in here with the current alpha. But beyond that, maybe even 2 more. Really? Really? You died to an Anki? How did you pull that off? How did you even do this? Like, I feel like he shouldn't be in this pen long enough to get killed by anything. And it's got a damaged tooth. What did it, bite the car? Bro bit the car? What was it, like hiding fruit inside? And the Yankees like, my time is here. I'm going to take this from you. All right. Shark feeder is a thing. Yes, yes. So for the shark feeder, now that we can actually put it in, wait, which one's which? Oh, god damn it. It should be this one. Yeah, the 2 spires. Obstructed. We can put it there. We can put it here. I think we put it here. Doesn't make any sense having it there, but we need it, so it's going in. Is what it is.
Congratulations are in order. So let me see if I can order some.
Well, we missed the good part, I guess. All right. Well, I'm gonna cut the storm from the video unless I get completely screwed by it. So, unfortunately, we do get 2 aggressive Stegosauruses here. Also, the storm wasn't too bad. Oops. So this is not the best clutch ever. I'm gonna try and sneak in a second batch real quick. Whoops. I clicked the automation button. True. Does anybody feel like the automation thing should have been like an upgrade? Like, it would be a perfect thing to make an upgrade. I'm gonna just stress this guy out. I don't care. Like, that would have made sense. Well, I guess the big problem is that it's not in certain modes, right? It's like, isn't it a sandbox only thing? Isn't it not even available in custom challenge mode? Is that true? I don't remember. There's plenty of whack shit like that in this game, so it's hard to keep straight what's available in which mode when it all should be available in every mode and just isn't. Like, a bunch of the custom challenge mode settings and sandbox settings are different, which is weird. Alright, 2 minutes. This new clutch. Unfit. Diddish. Those are fine. Okay, so 8 Stegosaurus to start with. That seems alright to me. Alright, the 8 Stegos are released. They're flying over right now. We're going to get the Brachy going. Make sure you go want to rest while we're doing that as well. That leaves us with not much genetics, actually. 7. That's not enough for any of the research tasks we need for next year. So it might just be expedition time. Go out and grab, I don't know, actually, we should pre-acquire Velociraptor, because obviously they had Raptor DNA. The Evolution of Claire novel even has raptors in Jurassic World in 2005, but they're not the Raptor squad, and they don't like stay in the park, I don't think. They're like predecessors of the Raptor squad or whatever, kinda. So I think that's why I didn't put them in the park, but I think we can reference that by finding the DNA early rather than later. These are all ugly Stegos, of course, because these are the Jurassic World design, which is hideous, and we're just gonna have to live with that. Oh yeah, we can do this. Oh no, I have these people now. Never mind. So we wait for the welfare specialist. We do that. Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is probably gonna mess up the gyrosphere a bit, but we did get rid of the galleys, so maybe we have some room to play here, so we can do some playing around. How is this contract never completed? Remain disease-free for 5 minutes. Where am I diseased at? Oh, does the feeder seriously count? Wait, can't reach destination. I don't believe you.
Transit has commenced. Transportation complete.
I bet you the feeder counts, and that's very silly and dumb. Okay, Stego. Ooh, we have a Salardilhosco Rana. Sure, that's a green Stego with brown plates, which is what they all are. Wow. We can put some fruit back here, probably. We don't have the Admanos now, so like we probably don't need open space that much. So we can do a little bit of fruit. We can do a little bit of fiber, and that will at least get them started here as more come down. I don't want to lose too much of the forest back here, though. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We might even want to expand the forest more.
Asset transportation complete.
You know, obviously we don't really see a forest on the gyrosphere tour, but conceptually we don't see most of the tour anyway, so it's probably fine.
Delivery has been completed.
All right, okay, so that's what comes in with our raptors. Sure. Everybody else is back. The contract is actually taken down. That's very cool. More Stegos are coming over. Rocky eggs. So we got a docile, sickly, and a no traits. I'll take the no traits. Great Sandy Rana. This is also the Fallen Kingdom, our Fallen Kingdom equivalent color palette. So I think adding another one of these later makes sense conceptually because we actually see them in Jurassic World. I guess that's technically the only time we see Brachiosaurus in Jurassic World is Fallen Kingdom, right? Because they're never in the first movie, and Dominion doesn't take place in Jurassic World, so confirmed. Well, I guess Camp Cretaceous shows them. Right, never mind. That is probably a Chaos Theory Stego. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a brown underbelly, white stripe on the side, green on the top Stego that I totally believe is in Camp Cretaceous, but does not jog any memories for me of it being in the show. Not criticizing that. I don't remember it specifically. I'm sure it's from the show. I'm not. If this sounds sarcastic, it's not supposed to be. I vaguely remember this like green spotted one, I think. So this is one of 3 other Camp Cretaceous stego skins we have here from a mod. Solar Rana is just another regular one. Oh, we already cycled back around to the front. Never mind. Stego 5. That's the C. Okay.
Asset transported.
Currently, they're happy, which I actually am kind of shocked by. They're happy, and somehow we have not disrupted the other territories. That actually blows my mind. I would not have thought that would have happened. Okay, great. How are the shops doing? Capped out? But demand is not that high. That might change.
Asset delivery.
You know what I want to do as well? Big amenities. We haven't done these. Oh, we also need other amenity modules because we are using these. We got to put in an aquarium, which is a whole thing. There's definitely an aquarium in Jurassic World, and we don't have it in yet, so we should put it in. But that can be put in at any point. We don't need to do that immediately. Big hotels I want. Luxury paths is maybe a whatever, who cares. And then animals. So let's start talking about next year. It's time we bring another carnivore into the park. We're bringing in Metriacanthosaurus. So let's start with that. Okay, so Sonoran Desert, this is kind of a brownish red stego, but you do see a stego like this in Chaos Theory or Camp Cretaceous, which is why I've included it. You see a bunch of different shades of kind of green between the films and Chaos Theory, and then, yeah, definitely some other stuff going on there. Okay, it looks like we got all 8 down. We didn't get the 3rd Camp Cretaceous skin, but we'll get it eventually. And they're actually just happy back here. That's crazy to me. Cool. Great. Is our Brachii good to go? It is. All right, releasing the Brachii wraps up the year. That is 2007 complete. We move on to 2008, and probably 2008 and 2009 in the same video, I think. I think things should start accelerating now. At least I hope they do. So I'm literally going to end this here with the Brachii coming out of the hatchery.